Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Ridertown Radio Comic Corner. Today is a bit of a special one. Normally, we would have waited for the thing that we keep teasing at the end of every episode, but seeing as how there was a new movie that came out, and we've both have actually seen it, we decided to talk about it. That movie in question, Suicide Squad.
Yep. Yep.
You sound so enthusiastic, pal.
Yeah, I got like some phlegm in the back of my throat, and I'm trying to get it out without making a lot of noise.
But yes, the most recent addition to DC's movie lineup. That was a very interesting film, to say the least.
Yeah. Granted, its plot is heavily recycled from like at least 7 other movies I can think of, but yeah.
Well, it's Hollywood. They tend to recycle shit a lot. Let's just be frank here.
Yeah, I know, especially with superhero movies, seeing as the other, at least 5 of the other 6 or 7 I can name are superhero movies, one of which was technically a prequel to this in the cinematic universe.
Oh yeah, Batman v Superman.
No, not, well, I didn't even think about that because I haven't seen that one yet. I was talking about Man of Steel.
Oh. Well, they reference Batman versus Superman in this movie.
Well, yeah, they reference Batman versus Superman, but I'm talking about the giant terraforming machine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
With what's her face.
Transformers 2, Transformers 3, Transformers 4,
Did they
probably
really,
Transformers 5.
did they really pull that shit in Transformers 4? I didn't watch that one.
I think, I don't remember offhand, Transformers 4 is easily one of the most forgettable.
All I know is it had dinosaurs, and I was like, this looks kind of interesting, and then I never watched it.
Yeah, it has dinosaurs, and one of the toys for children make it look like it has a wang. It's one of their, like, one-step changers. It's the, Spinosaurus.
Okay.
The way that it one-step changes is essentially the tail goes from being behind it to sticking out the front.
It's like, I don't know, sounds like
Yeah.
that one, I think it was like a jet transformer, where it's like, it has the unfortunate thing about you can accidentally transform it backwards, and if you transform it backwards, it looks like it has a giant dick. Or something.
Yeah, or there's the Punisher crotch gun.
Anyway, but, yeah, Suicide Squad. As we've already said, it's pretty much a follow-up to Batman v Superman, and it takes place after that one, and because of events in that one, they decide to put together a squad of villains as a defense against evil forces or something.
It's more or less it's, hey, instead of getting millions upon millions of actual good people killed in case the next Superman is actually a General Zod, let's make a team of bad guys and do this instead because they're replaceable.
It's a fight fire with fire situation, kind of, and literally in one particular instance.
Yeah.
Yes, our cast of characters. We have Deadshot, played by Will Smith, which he was probably one of the best players in this movie, not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, when you're one of the only 2 real main characters of the movie.
Well, yes, that's true. We have Harley Quinn, played by Margot
Robbie.
And holy hell did she do a hell of a job.
Yeah, but my only complaint is that she kept changing her, like, accent every other scene she was in.
Yeah, I did notice there was a little bit of inconsistency there, but it wasn't that bad.
Because it's like, sometimes she's getting, like, a regular, I say regular, but, like, a you could say, oh, this is from this part of this place kind of accent. And then she has a very harsh Brooklyn, New York accent sometimes.
Yeah, it does kind of slip in and out.
Yeah.
But, it's not really that big of a deal. And then we also have other characters who I don't know the actors for.
Viola Davis, who was Amanda Waller.
Man, she did a hell of a job, too.
Jared Leto, who was the Joker, for albeit not a lot of scenes.
Yeah, he killed it as Joker, and I would love to see him come back as Joker if this movie hasn't soured him on it.
Well, supposedly he's going to be the air quote main villain of the Batman movie when that comes out.
That will be cool. I'd like to see
seeing
that.
as what happened at the end of this movie.
Yeah, but we'll get to that later.
Jai Courtney was Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, I remember seeing his name in the list, and I was like, wait, Jai Courtney's in this movie? Who the hell is he? And I was like looking at the cast, I was like,
Yeah, him
oh,
in the
that makes
movie and
sense.
him on like IMDb look nothing alike.
Well, the only thing I've seen Jai Courtney in, I think, actually no, I've seen him in two things. One was Terminator Genesis, because he was John Connor, or not Connor,
Yeah.
Kyle Reese, that's the one. Because Connor
Hmm.
was that other guy that's always evil.
Yeah.
And I think he was one of the characters in the Divergent movies, whose name I don't remember because it doesn't matter.
Possibly.
But yeah, so that's the only
Yeah.
things I've seen Courtney in. In both of those movies, he was clean shaven, so seeing him as Captain
Yeah.
Boomerang, I didn't realize that was actually him. Plus, the accent he
Hmm.
was putting on kind of hid that.
Yeah. And
And
then as a quick nod to the Justice League movie that's coming out,
oh yeah, he
Ezra
gets
Miller was in there as the Flash,
yeah Boomerang's introduction. He gets captured by the Flash.
and you
Because,
don't even see it. He just like comes in, says a one-liner, and then boom, he's caught.
pretty much, yeah.
Then Jay Hernandez played El Diablo, by far one of the better non-main characters of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of got a bit of focus, but yeah, it wasn't that much.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the other ones. It was like,
Yeah, I know.
okay, here's the basically last half hour of the movie, and here's this entire character's backstory.
Well, considering what they did to him, I guess they kind of felt like they had to throw that in there.
Yeah, and what they didn't have to do that though. I mean, yeah, they did, but they didn't, kind of thing.
Well, it was kind of interesting, like the way they set it up, considering it's like it was kind of. I mean, it kind of played into Deadshot's story a little bit with one of the things that the guy says, and
Yeah.
then some of his actions in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's an interesting intermixing, to say the least. And then we also have
Yeah.
Killer Croc, who I don't know remember.
Played by Adewale, a whole bunch of other letters I can't pronounce.
If somehow the actor's listening, we're sorry. Your name is very difficult to pronounce,
And I only know Adewale because of Assassin's Creed 4.
well, I didn't even know that far. I didn't think to look up the cast list.
Oh no, the Edward's right-hand man in Assassin's Creed 4 is named Adewale, and then there's like a DLC where you play as him.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then Cara Delevingne plays Dr. June Moon, also known as the Enchantress.
Also known as the Elsa of the group, and I'll explain that in a little
Yeah.
bit. And then we also have
Joel
Katana.
Kinnaman as Rick Flag,
Yeah, there's Flag, and then there's also Katana.
which I'm looking for on here.
She's going to be the only one with a Japanese name, because she's actually a Japanese actress.
Yeah, Karen Fukuhara.
Yeah, I remember seeing that name in the theater, and was like watching the credits, and it's like, and that one's Katana, which is a hilarious
Yeah.
mixture of here's a normal English name, and here's a Japanese last name.
Yep, and then Adam Beach played We Needed a Patsy for the one main gimmick these guys have.
He was the idiot that got sacrificed to the bomb in their necks.
He was the one that was we didn't want to add a person who wasn't actually a DC villain into this movie, so here's a DC villain with an actually pretty unique and pretty legit kind of awesome gimmick, and he's dead.
Yep.
Because his gimmick in the comic books and everything is that his ropes are unbreakable,
Interesting.
which made no sense to me at all, because it's like, it's a rope. Fire and sharp things are your weakness.
Well, as we've seen from the Toku side of things, rope is insanely strong, aka ripping buildings out of the ground.
Or completely encasing a monster who's essentially covered in awkward angles.
Indeed. But yeah, so plot of the movie is pretty much like it says in the trailers. You have a group of villains who have been pulled together for a suicide mission, although smartly the trailers do not show who the villain is. As it turns
Right.
out, it's one of the characters that is touted as a hero, the Enchantress. Basically, they pulled an Elsa with the trailers.
Yeah.
which I don't mind when they actually do that. It's nice to see them throw you for a loop. Because if you ever watch the Frozen trailers, they do that hardcore. It's like, they make you think, oh, this sister of Anna's is actually the bad guy, but it turns out, nope, she's just misunderstood. And here we have, here's
But I
the,
mean, isn't that most Disney movies? They're just misunderstood.
eh, 50-50, or it depends. Because you can't say characters like, the evil queen from Snow White were just misunderstood. That bitch was evil. But anyway, moving on. But yeah, we have the Enchantress being the villain, which I did not expect at all.
I mean, out of all of the people on their side, the one that was instantly shown to, like, out of all the members of the team, when they showcased the Enchantress's powers and the fact that Waller had her heart in a box, the first thought in my mind was, so you're the bad guy.
Yeah, that should have been more obvious to me, but no.
It wasn't until the scene where she's goes into Waller, like when she says it at night and like wakes up and shows Flag the weird hospital scene. I was like, okay, so this is our bad guy.
Yeah, it was like, okay, yeah, you're up to something. It's like,
Yeah.
then she like sneaks into Waller's place and apparently finds her brother and sets him free, and then the two of them go off in shenanigans.
Yep, because, every movie needs a big CGI monster,
Yeah.
especially in their starting movie for their franchise. Iron Man, Batman versus Superman, Thor.
Etc.
I'm not going to say any of the Incredible Hulks because you kind of need a big, giant clusterfuck monster.
Well, considering it's the Incredible Hulk,
Exactly, that's why I didn't mention him.
He needs something big to fight. That's the way he works. But yeah, and I remember when I was just sitting there watching this thing the whole time. Like once I got into the city, I just started thinking, it's like this movie feels very Fifth Act. It's like all this action going on, all this build up for this confrontation. It's like this movie feels very Fifth Act. If that makes any sense.
This movie went to the movie itself before it was sent to theaters was sent to a hibachi place.
It kind of reminded me of Pacific Rim, if you think about it, because
yeah, well,
here's the thing:
I mean, you also have to think of it like this, though. Pacific Rim is a movie where it's Megazord battles all the time because their world is Megazord battles all the time.
No, if you think about it, though, it's like I'm gonna quote. I believe it was Dr. Holocaust on YouTube who said this when he was reviewing the movie. Was that the whole montage that they show at the beginning of the movie for Pacific Rim? That whole section could have been its own damn movie.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're watching is essentially a Fifth Act movie where everything's just go, 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 go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Suicide Squad, will say, is a little ahead of its time, more or less. Like, this should not have been the third movie for a franchise setting.
Yeah.
You don't go Captain America, Civil War, Avengers.
No, you don't. But yeah, like all the backstory stuff that they showed in this movie, you probably could have compiled it into its own film, and like at the end of the movie, be like, okay, you guys are all working together now, and then you get some like thing about an alert, then you throw them into this movie.
Yeah, like they could have done the Batman movie and had Joker and Harley be the main villain for the ending, and then have the quick scene where he's taken on Deadshot scattered around in between.
Yeah,
and then boom, there's a movie setting up at least 3 of the characters.
Which yeah, there's backstory stuff to talk about. Apparently, Waller tipped off Batman to Deadshot, and basically Batman took him in front of his kid, essentially, and like
yeah.
Deadshot could have shot Batman, but then his daughter's like, no, don't do it. So it's like, okay.
Because there needs to be something for the plot later on to be reflected on so the character can have an uplifting moment.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting to have Deadshot have a kid like
Yeah,
that.
well, Deadshot has a kid in the Arrowverse too, and like in everything. That's like why he's part of the Suicide Squad is because he has something that can be used as leverage.
Did they ever bring up his daughter in this Arrowverse? I don't remember. It's been a long
Yeah, there was
time.
like a yeah, that was why he became part of Argus was because they were like, hey, you want to see your kid, right? Work with us and we'll cut your sentence in half. And then when he blows up, he looks at a picture of his kid.
It's been a long time since I've seen the episodes involving the
I like
squad, and
Deadshot. He's one of my favorite characters from Arrow.
yeah, he was a fun one, to say the least.
And then they killed him for this movie. God damn it.
Yep, sad but true.
I will say one thing, though. Pimp Deadshot was hilarious to look at.
Oh yeah, it's like, what was that part? Was that like in the
That was when they were, when Batman goes to fight him, he's like all decked out, and it's like, you're one feather in that hat away from being a pimp.
Oh yeah, that was. Oh, that was
Like he had the hat like on a 45-degree angle and everything, and I'm just like, okay.
I think they probably just had some fun with it because they're putting the costume on a black guy, and I know that's racist sounding. I'm not trying to be that, but that's the stereotype, guys.
Well, that's probably where his rap song he would have done for the movie would have been.
If Will Smith was still doing rap songs.
I mean, there was like all these jokes that he was going to do one for the movie.
That's because he used to do that all the time. Like the Men in Black movies. He did one for Wild Wild West, which is actually not half bad. I kind of like that song.
Yeah, I like that. I like that movie. It was a really weird movie, but I liked it.
Nostalgia Critic just reviewed it.
Ah.
It was pretty funny. Anyway, so yeah, what else we got here?
And then, like, out of the quote-unquote core team, only really two of them aren't villains, and that's Katana and Rick Flag. Rick Flag's just a soldier who was boning the Enchantress, so boom, he has to be part of the team. And then Katana's just...
Well, he's also basically the one that Waller puts in charge of them, to like make sure if these guys try to make a break for it, blow their heads off, because he's got the kill switch.
Yes, and so does she. So she could have done it, but it was more or less just a. We need to put the leader of the Suicide Squad into the movie. How do we do it? We could have him being in a relationship with one of the characters. That's perfect.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird, but
and then again, Katana's just there.
Yep, she's just the Japanese chick with a sword that has her husband's soul inside of it, apparently.
But you know what's really interesting? They didn't kill her off in Arrow.
Is she in there?
Yeah, she's the one that took care of him after he got murdered by Rafe.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot what her character's name is, but yeah, I know who you're talking about. So did I,
but yeah.
Yeah, it was the one dude's wife.
Whatchamacallit's husband or wife.
Yeah, the one dude's wife.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember now.
But yeah, essentially it's like, here's this character. Boom. Here's all the stuff they did. Or here's their, like, rap sheet, essentially. Here's this character and their rap sheet. And then, as they're leaving on the plane, it's just like, oh, by the way, this is Katana. She's a badass, and her sword holds the souls of people. So don't make her mad.
I love Harley's reaction to her, though. She's like, just extends her hand and says, like, hi, I'm Harley, or whatever. And she's like, eventually she's like, she seems nice.
Yeah, it's just like, should I kill them now? No, it's not that kind of mission. Okay.
Harley stole the damn movie, to be honest. I think out of all the characters, Margot Robbie's performance just stole everything, frankly.
Well, yeah, it's... Name one other female DC character that's as big as Harley.
You really can't. There is just no other DC female character like that.
But you know what's really funny, though? She's the youngest, technically, out of all of the all the big leaguers of the DC universe. She's technically the youngest.
I believe that. She looks it.
Well, I don't mean like that. I mean like since they were created.
Oh,
Harley
yeah.
Quinn was created for the 90s cartoon.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, that does make sense.
And yet she's bigger than I've been around since the 60s, Catwoman and all this shit.
Well, I think the problem is Hollywood keeps screwing up Catwoman. The only... well, Now, one movie screwed up Catwoman. The TV
Yeah, one
shows,
movie screwed up Catwoman.
the Dark Knight movie, and all of
I
her
just got that on
animated
Blu-ray.
and her adventures in animated form have her done pretty well. But
Yeah, and then the Michael Keaton one was interesting.
ugh, that one I don't ever want to watch. That movie,
And it's
just looking at
the only thing that was creepy about that was the penguin.
yeah, just watch like seeing the designs for those characters just does not make me want to watch it. Just like
Yeah.
ugh. And honestly, I didn't really like the original Keaton Batman film. I mean, it was fine for what it is, but it just wasn't my thing.
And the only thing good about that we got the Jack Nicholson Joker.
Who apparently has been reborn as Jared Leto, if you want to believe game or film theory.
I mean, technically, yes, because they're both like mob boss type characters.
Yeah, let's talk about that. One of the scenes with the Joker is like him in a club, basically acting like a mob boss, and then you see Harley like in the club dancing all sexy and stuff, and then at one point,
Yes, which is funny because that scene was only in there so they could make one of the trailers to the song Ballroom Blitz.
yeah,
Literally, that's the only time I remember seeing that scene was in that one trailer.
no, there was in the first one where they used.
You're right, it was the Bohemian Rhapsody one. That's the one I'm thinking of, not Ballroom Blitz.
I think that scene was in the Blitz trailer. You see him, but you see instead of in the Rhapsody trailer, you see Harley dancing kind of, and she's like doing that thing where she's like jerking the chain or whatever, like she's shooting
Yeah, where it's like
something.
it's a shotgun.
And then in the
Yeah.
Blitz trailer, you see Joker just like sitting there with his cane and stuff, and it's like one of his lines is like, "Are you sweet talking me?" or something like that. Even though that's
Something like that, yeah.
but yeah, that's
He was a pimp in this movie. Let's just point that out.
oh
He
yeah,
was, like, literally, that scene, he was trying to pimp out Harley.
yeah. And then the guy's like trying to be respectful. It's like, no, I don't want to mess with your girl. She's yours and all that. And it's like,
And
yes,
then
she is.
got killed.
Which that sounds like something the Nicholson Joker would do.
That is something the Nicholson Joker did. He killed a lot of the people he worked with.
Yeah, I know. There was that one really loyal guy that he just like shot because he could and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene was very interesting. And then of course there's a lot of just subtle things between him and Harley during the whole movie because they're like texting each other or whatever.
Yeah, apparently there was like a lot of scenes that show like the true relationship between Harley and the Joker because this was
Yeah,
more or less this was the we want children to see this movie. Let's cut all that shit out.
yeah, because I believe I saw a still shot of them filming, and it actually shows Leto slapping Robbie,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like
Yep.
that's more of the relationship. But instead, what we got in the movie, it just seems more like the dude actually gives a shit about her and actually loves her and all
Yep.
that stuff. Which, admittedly, it's weird when you think about the way that Joker and Harley have been portrayed over the years. At the same time, though, I honestly don't mind it that much because it's a different take, and it's
Yeah, it was definitely interesting, especially that scene where she jumps into the pit and he's like, I'm just gonna leave her. It was fun while it lasted. Fuck it, I'm gonna jump in after her.
I know. I saw that one. It's like, and she basically just threw herself in there to prove her dedication to you. And it's like, and I'm walking away now, and shit.
Like as he
Rips his jacket
started
off
walking
and just
away, I went 3, 2, 1, and jump.
yeah. I was just like, it was like he pauses and is just like, shit. Throws
Yeah,
the jacket off and dives right in.
Yeah, my internal Forza driver went off. 3, 2, 1.
Uh, but yeah, I thought that was a very interesting thing. And then
But,
like
yeah.
later on, when like he tries to rescue her while she's still with the squad, and apparently even managed to get an override for the bomb in her neck because they hijacked one of the
Because
helicopters.
he went into the place where they made him and stuck one into a dude's neck.
Yeah, he basically hijacked the scientist to do that,
Yeah.
and then hijacked the helicopter that was coming to get them. Gets Harley, and then like. Of course, Waller won't have any of this, so she gets the chopper shot down, and Joker's just like basically pushes Harley out of the chopper to save her, and she lands on a rooftop
Yeah.
without a
He was
scratch.
going to jump out too, but he got stuck or something like that.
Yeah, and then of course there's apparently a scene of him with a burned face somewhere, but that was in one of the trailers, but it didn't show up in the
Yeah, it's
movie.
him with a burned face, and he pulls a pin of a grenade and throws it.
Yeah.
And that's all we know from that scene because they cut it out of the movie. We have no context for it.
Yeah, I have a feeling it might have. Maybe it was cut out because it just interrupted the flow a little bit. I don't know, but I'm hoping we'll get an extended cut, or at the very least, it'll be like a deleted scene on the DVD or Blu-ray or whatever. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully.
Uh, let's see. What else can we talk about with this one?
Yeah, before we actually get into the plot of this movie, really, and like all the, well, I don't mean that like that. I mean it like the why are they in the city, the reason afterwards of why they're in the city, and all this other stuff. Captain Boomerang has a thing with pink unicorns, and has
Oh
been,
yeah,
and spends the entire movie hitting on Katana.
yeah, when me and my friend, cause I went to see this with a friend of mine, we were watching it, and it's like the card comes up and says "fetish pink unicorns." So we were just laughing our butts off. And anytime we saw the pink unicorn, we were just giggling. It was so stupid, but it was
Yeah,
funny.
it's great.
It's even funnier for me because I actually do and like that MLP show. So,
Yeah.
uh, I think he kept calling it Pinky too, which just made it
Yeah,
funnier.
I think that was the name they gave it.
So yeah, that just made it even more hilarious for me. But anyway, let's see what else can we. Let's see what else is there to bring up.
There, because of the other helicopter that crashed, they got to see all this. Because then another helicopter came to pick up Waller because the whole reason they were in the city was to save Waller.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I was interested.
reasons.
Yeah, that was interesting. It's like you see every time they cut to her, you see her in this like command center type deal, and then like she's got all these people around her, and you're thinking, oh, she's just like somewhere in DC or something,
Yeah,
watching
you'd
all
think
this
that,
crap.
but then you remember that when the Enchantress stole her brother, she was in like her apartment.
Yeah, but
And then it makes you think she probably just released her brother in that same city.
yeah, pretty much. And then it's like turns out, oh, we're not actually saving anyone, any like political person or whatever. Nope, we're just saving Waller because yes.
My favorite line was by Will Smith going, "They all think you got Nelson Mandela in here."
Yeah, because he was the only one that actually like followed Flag into the command room.
Yeah, and there was a scene in there that really seemed out of character for Flag, when Waller just caps all those other guys, and she's just like, they weren't prepared for this, and he's just like, okay. That seemed very out of character for Mr. Military McFriendship to more or less just be okay with like several people getting murdered for no reason.
Yep, because that's what Waller does. Okay, actually, I would do have a quick one for you. Between this version of Waller and the Arrowverse version of Waller, which one do you like better? I mean, I know the Arrowverse one is technically dead, but between this one and that one, which one do you like better? Because they're both
And it's only with
ruthless.
these two. I can't pick any others. I have to pick one of the live action ones.
Well, how many other versions of Waller have been on TV? The only other version I can think of is from like Justice League, and she only had a couple episodes here and there. So
Yes, but that Amanda Waller was scary as shit.
she was, but let's stick with live action.
No. She's the reason Batman Beyond exists.
Oh, I'm aware. I've seen all of Justice League. I know the whole story with her and Batman Beyond. I'm very much aware of that, but stick with live action right now.
See, that's a tough one, though, because we've only seen each one for a small amount of time. And each one has ties to one of the big... I can't say a number I can think of off the top of my head, because I can't say 5, because Arrow isn't part of the core 5.
No, he really
I'll
isn't.
say the big 10. Air quotes. 10.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really a tough choice. It's like, which Waller is better? I don't know. I'm gonna say I like the one from Arrow better, just because right now that's the one I've had more exposure to. Because we pretty much had her for almost a whole season-ish.
And the only thing, and that's the one thing. That's the only reason I'm going to pick the other one, because the movie one is accurate to the comic books. Where she's just some military woman who just happens to know shit.
Hmm.
Hence why she knew Bruce Wayne was Batman.
Yeah, that was a very interesting little end scene because like that's
It was
the
an end scene that didn't need to be there, though. That was the thing.
yeah, it was kind of interesting though. It's like you see mid credits scene. It's like Waller and Wayne having dinner or whatever, and then she basically throws him the file on metahumans that she has, which includes Aquaman
It's
and
the
Flash.
Suicide Squad, Aquaman, and Flash, and that's all it is.
And then basically it's like Wayne's just like, shut your task force down. Me and my friends will take care of it. And Waller's all like, you look tired, Wayne. You should really stop working nights. And it's just like, that's pretty much, there's your little cue there. It's like, Waller
Yeah.
knows who you are.
Literally, when I was in the theater, at least 50% of the theater was freaking out, and I'm just sitting there like, this is a thing. There was an entire episode of the cartoon around this entire plot.
Well, let's be honest here, is that I feel like a lot of moviegoers nowadays aren't as familiar with comic cartoons and TV shows
Yeah.
like you and I are, so
That is
hints
true.
like that, subtle things like that kind of go over their heads, and so when they hear it, it's like, ooh, it's special
Yeah, like
to them.
in the back of my head, I was just like, it's on Netflix, you can watch it. Justice League episode blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Let's see, what else can we comment on before we really just dive into the plot part here? I guess we could talk about El Diablo for a minute, because that was an interesting character.
Oh boy, if you thought Zeal the World was depressing as fuck with his backstory.
Yeah, this guy apparently killed his family.
On accident. Because he's essentially the fucking devil and he got pissed off one day.
And boom, they're all on fire, so he basically gave himself up.
Yeah.
And then he torched an entire prison yard.
Yeah, and made a flame crown on top of his head because that's what you do when you just murdered 90% of the people that could have worked under you.
Well, if you have that kind of power, why do you need anyone working under you? Just
Like, literally, when I saw the crown on form on the top of his head, my mind went to Halo Reach and just went, Skullamanjaro.
oh
All
yeah,
those murders.
and him being here, there actually does explain one scene from the trailer that always confused me, because there was like the one scene in one of the trailers where like they dump out the water in the tank that he was basically being held in. I was like, who are they keeping in there? I thought for a while it was like, oh, it's a punishment tank and they had Deadshot in there or something, but no, it was actually
Or like Killer Croc was in there.
yeah, but no, it was actually
And then,
him.
and yeah, I thought that too, and then I was like, isn't there a dude who uses fire? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Put the fire dude in the metal bucket that has a giant bucket of water on top of it.
Yep. And then, of course, his backstory scene comes to us while they're in the bar, and like it's, I believe one of the other trailers was like showing them doing that, and it's like Smith's giving the whole thing about, we almost did this, and we're gonna get blamed for this, and blah blah blah, and then like one of Diablo's lines is like, well, at least you don't kill women and children, which of course ties into something that happened earlier in the movie where when Joker comes to get Harley, Waller tells Deadshot to kill her, and he refuses to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Which of course is
and
like,
then there's the scene that was cut, but it was in the trailers where she's giving everyone her drinks, and she looks over to El Diablo, and he's just like, just water, thanks.
yeah,
And
that
he's
one.
like, okay.
She's like, that's a good idea, honey. Which,
Yeah.
admittedly, I wish that scene had been in the movie, but at the same time, I can understand why they chopped it, because it's supposed to be a really somber thing, and then here's just a random joke. Like, it would have been a really weird mood shift.
Yeah, but that random joke would have livened up the onslaught of really depressing shit that just happened.
True.
And kind of would liven up the other giant onslaught of depressing shit that's about to happen when El Diablo goes, oh, boo-hoo, I murdered my family.
Yeah.
I sound like an asshole.
Well, as we've
Oh, boo-hoo, I murdered my family.
Well, as we've established, you have a thing for death, so.
Right, but like in the back of my mind, that was going to have better context of like, oh, boo-hoo, I murdered my family. I'm a fucking crocodile.
Yeah, if Killer Croc had like thrown out something that would have been funny, but then I think even Croc knows I don't want to mess with him because he could
Yeah.
probably incinerate me or
Yeah,
at least
out
turn me
of
into a
all of
cooked.
the squad that's part of the main team, the only people you really need there is Killer Croc, El Diablo, Deadshot, and Flag. Katana's nice to have there, but she's not necessary, and all the other people are humans,
Yeah,
where their number one thing, their gimmick is their weapon
which in Harley's case is a baseball bat and a
that
really
that she used like a dumbass, and a pistol that she very rarely used.
which was
She was
that was a
only in the movie because we needed that one ass shot when she goes to grab the purse.
or the other shot where she's putting her clothes on. She's like everyone's
Yeah,
staring at her, and she's like, "What?" And it's like,
yeah. That
and resume
that scene
normal.
was nice because right before it, there's the scene where she's picking out her outfit and she pulls out the classic black and red suit from the animated show, and then
Speaking
her
of
outfit from
that,
the New 52.
speaking of that outfit, I did find
Oh
it
yeah,
interesting.
that scene. Those like quick 5 second scenes based on comic book covers.
Yeah, there's the one that's basically based on the Batman Harley Quinn novel or book, whatever, which is like you see Joker all dressed up in like fancy clothes, and you see Harley in her costume, and she's leaning against him and stuff. I saw that and was like, ooh, that's a nice reference. I like that.
Yeah, I was like, ooh, that's a wallpaper.
Yeah, I saw this funny thing on Tumblr earlier where I was like looking up Suicide Squad stuff just to see what was out there, and there's a funny image of someone like cropped Harley from the trailer or movie or whichever, where she's in the middle of putting her new costume on, so like she's
Mm-hmm.
got her shirt like up over her boobs, so like you can see her bra
Yeah.
and stuff, and then they cropped in a picture of Leto's Joker just like with a sideways glance, so it looks like he's staring at her, and I was just like, oh, that's hilarious.
Nice.
I was like, oh, that's beautiful. Stupid things that make me smile. Anyway,
Yep. But like the thing that solves the movie is El Diablo, Killer Croc, and Deadshot.
yeah, considering El
Literally,
Diablo,
they're the reason they won. They're the only reason they won.
yeah, except for the fact that Diablo didn't survive, sadly. Or
Well, yeah, because hero sacrifice.
yeah, which was that made me sad. It's like, aw, you killed the cool guy. Why?
I know the cool guy that had this really awesome like CGI skeleton thing. That
Yeah,
was
that just like
awesome.
came out of nowhere though. I was like, what the hell? Where did that come from?
I mean, he did say he got that power from the devil, so
That's true. And
I
then
also like how as soon as he went into that mode, he's like, "Come on, bitch, let's do this."
that was pretty funny. Yeah, just
And also, the only reason this movie got a PG-13 rating was because Harley said the word "pussies" like twice.
that is true. Yeah, she did drop that line a few
Everything
times.
else, it's oh man, we're killing these weird monster-looking things, so it's okay. Ratings. All
Yeah.
these other people died off screen. It's okay. Ratings. Oh no, she said a bad word twice. PG-13.
Uh, it just reminds me of the stupid joke that Chris Hartfield, I think that's his name, or Chris Hardwick, I think. Whoever it is, the guy that does the hosting for At Midnight.
Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, Chris Hardwick. Thank you. There
He's
was
a
the.
blue dragon in one of the D&D shows I watch.
He's hilarious. I love that guy. Anyway, there was one of the episodes they were doing. They had a picture of a greeting card or whatever, which basically had a cross section of like one of those medical cross sections of a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and she had a cat in her womb, and so he's looking at this thing, and they're making their usual jokes or whatever, and then he notices the fact that because like part of a boob showing, they had to censor the nipple because of course TV censorship
Yeah.
laws, blah blah blah. And so he's like making this whole little like mini rant about this nonsense, and then he says, "So that big pussy comes out of that big pussy, and if my censorship rules are correct, only one of those got bleeped." And indeed, one of them got bleeped. uh,
uh,
it's,
nice.
yeah, that made me laugh. I love that clip. It's one of my favorites. Anyway, so shall we actually talk about the plot of this film? Because I've been kind of skirting around it.
Yeah. That we've been derailing this for an hour to get us around an hour for a while.
Yeah, so basically, plot of the movie is Enchantress goes, saves her brother, and puts him in some random guy, and then basically it's like, we used to be gods, but the humans betrayed us, and now all they do is worship machines, so I'm going to make a machine and fuck their world up. And insert giant glowing ring of trash in the sky.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else it was supposed to do exactly, because they never really explained. I guess it was just going to kill everyone? I don't know.
It was supposed to essentially make some sort of machine that destroys the world or some bullshit like that.
So, your typical doomsday plot.
Avengers, Age of Ultron, Transformers 2, Transformers 3,
Etc.
Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel.
Yeah, that's more accurate. Batman vs. Superman's kind of meh.
Okay, Man of Steel.
You really need to watch that one so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's another one? There's like one more I can think. The Newton episode of Kamen Rider Ghost. The O special.
Alright. We get it.
All things where it's like, we're going to make something in the sky that's going to kill everybody.
Yeah, that's basically the plot. And then, like, the original mission is we're going to get Waller out, but as soon as Waller is sent off to safety, air quotes, and then actually gets captured, the squad just kind of like goes, fuck it, we're done with this shit. And then even Flag's like, yeah, you guys are free to go, and he breaks his kill switch. But then morality...
Yeah, that was after Will Smith found out that he was sleeping with the Enchantress.
Yeah, but then it's like, morality kicks in, and it's like, you know what, fuck it, let's go fight this thing. And so they work together, they beat the Enchantress, and they even get back the lady she was possessing.
Yeah, because that's probably not going to backfire into the future.
Which, that's actually something which I meant to bring up earlier, actually, was in the scene where Waller's doing the whole proposal about, hey, let's make Task Force X or whatever, and like she's showing off the Enchantress to all these suits and whatnot, and she's like, and you see like her do the switch for the first time. It's like, that was a very interesting effect, because like you see like they show her hands, and then like these black hands come in underneath her, and then it's like everything flips over, and it's like, whoa, that was a weird effect.
Yeah, you know what though? That's a cool shot from that angle. That probably looks weird as hell from like a back farther away point of view.
Yeah, I can imagine that would look a lot weirder. But yeah,
because you're just seeing the hand. You're not seeing the entire body.
Yeah, that was a like I said, that was an interesting effect, but yeah, I don't know what that would have looked like from a full body perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's basically the plot of the movie. I mean, it's a very basic one, but honestly, all the character interactions what saves it for the most part.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of was the thing that started everyone being like the quote-unquote secondary pep talk of the movie by El Diablo when they're all getting those weird mind fucks, where El Diablo is remembering his family, and he's like, no, I can't change what I've done.
Yeah, those were interesting, because, like...
And then Harley Quinn's married to the Joker, but they're not psychopaths, they're normal people, and they have a child.
They had 2 kids.
2 kids, yeah.
Yeah, that was a very interesting one, to say the least, but I guess that just kind of goes to show how much Harley really loves Joker, I guess. And then Deadshot's, of course, is like he wishes he had killed Batman, which... That's a weird one, to be honest. You would think that with the kind of work that he does, maybe he would have thought, oh, if I hadn't been this, I could have spent more time with my daughter instead of being, a criminal. But no, his wish is to kill Batman. But you also have to think about it like this.
In their universe, Superman is dead. If
True.
Batman's dead, Batman's really the only other person that could stop him that he knows of, because no one knows who the Flash is.
Yeah, it's true. No one knows who the Flash is
So
yet.
if the Batman's dead, he can be with his daughter all he wants. Who's going to stop him? The cops that he can kill without even looking at them?
Yeah, that was an interesting scene showing him doing his like assassination thing, where it's like he basically just
funny as hell.
Yeah, it was like he's busy, like the guy who hired him's like he's taunting him on the phone, and then like when he finally gets what he wants, he's just like shoots with his little arm thing. I'm guessing it's like a pistol strapped to his arm.
It's a fucking Glock attached to his arm.
It just like pulls the trigger, the bullet bounces off like two walls and then goes into the back of the guy's head. It's like,
Yeah, he sets
wow.
like a panel that's like rigged to his eye thing, and he like shoots it perfectly to bounce it off and kill the dude.
Yeah, which is like I know bullets can ricochet like that, but I don't. Or I know bullets have the ability to ricochet, but I didn't know they could ricochet like that.
I think it's like a special thing he had made.
Either that, or it's just a bit of movie magic. Who knows? Either way, it was
I
interesting.
mean, bullets can do that, so I'm sure that's something along those lines that he has.
Yeah, which I also thought it was kind of interesting. It's like later on, you actually do see him with his daughter, and they're talking about like math and angles and stuff, and they start talking about like bullets
And
and
then
things. It's
instantly
like,
starts talking about how guns work, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, you're trying to teach her math, not how to kill a person 5 miles away with one bullet.
my thought was, and you're secretly trying to turn your daughter into a psychopath like you are.
Yeah.
Because
I,
that
I
could
like though,
happen.
because they're like talking about triangles and stuff, and I'm just like, there's a weird eyeball-looking thing that could help you.
The Toku in us just always rears its head in weird places.
Yep.
Let's see, what else is there to talk about for this? I'm trying to think here.
Um.
Oh yeah, I do love how like after they finish their mission and like everyone's throwing demands at Waller for stuff, and it's like Deadshot has the logical one. It's like I want more time with my daughter. Blah blah blah. What was it?
Harley
Boomerang.
Quinn wanted a cappuccino machine.
Yeah, yeah. Harley just wants coffee. Killer Croc just wants a TV in his room.
Yeah, he just wants BET. And because Captain Boomerang was being a dick, he didn't get anything.
Well, Boomerang was basically just like, I want my freedom and I want it now. And that's a terrible
Yeah.
Australian accent. I apologize to any Australians.
We've done worse. I've done worse.
Yeah, you've done worse. I don't really do accents on this show. But, yeah, I love how they actually gave Harley her coffee machine. So it's like, do you guys have to, like, give her stuff to refill that thing every so often?
Probably.
Just the tiniest
Probably
teacups.
comes along with like her dinner meal or something.
Probably. But then that doesn't matter because the Joker comes back and busts her out of Bell Rev. And
Now
often...
see if that scene was just like a little bit longer of them escaping and her like getting ready to run up and then saying no wait and then runs in and grabs a cappuccino maker and then goes, that would have been great.
That would have been funny, but...
Wait. Okay, let's go.
Imagine a cappuccino machine's kind of heavy and they could just steal another one.
Yeah, but that was the one she got for free because she kicked ass. It has sentimental value, like her children she has in the comics that she doesn't take care of.
Or that collar thing that says puddin' on it that she had and then threw it when she thought the Joker was dead.
Yeah, the figure art for her has one of those too.
You can buy those for real for the weirdos who want to do that.
This year's going to be great for Halloween. It's just going to be millions of sluts dressed up as Harley Quinn. Yippee.
Wow.
And a few hardcore people dressed up as the Enchantress.
Oh, man.
What are you dressed up as? A log? No, I'm the Enchantress. Oh! I'm horrible.
Yeah.
But you know it's true.
I know, there's going to be a lot of Harley cosplayers for Halloween.
And who knows, maybe there'll actually be some decent Power Ranger costumes that aren't just, we're still using samurai outfits.
Who knows, we'll see. But, yeah.
I was really mad. I didn't see a single Dino Charge Ranger. I'm sorry, that disappointed me. Maybe we'll see some this year.
Maybe. Let's see.
Oh shit, that starts tomorrow, doesn't it? Fuck.
Yeah. So,
awesome.
We got to throw that in our lineup for Sunday's recording. But anyway, let's see. Is there anything else we can throw in for this movie? Because I'm kind of blanking at this point.
I mean, we've more or less covered all of our bases.
Yeah, so general thoughts for me, I liked the movie. I had a fun time. I would recommend go see it. It's a fun movie.
If you're going to see a movie to just see a movie, it's great. If you're going to a movie because you're expecting exquisite Shakespearean-esque plot, you're not going to get Shakespearean-esque plot. This is a plot that I literally named off at least 6 movies earlier that have a similar plot.
And did it better,
The
but that's
characters are
besides the point.
nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, my only real complaint, well, besides the fact you could barely understand Killer Croc half the time.
Well, he barely spoke, so it doesn't really
Right,
matter
and
that
when
much.
he did, he sounded like Goldar trying to do a Christian Bale Batman impersonation.
Well, let's be fair here, okay? He's a crocodile monster type character. You really think he's gonna have the best of vocal clarity?
No, I was expecting him to have a fucking Southern accent
That's true. A lot of his incarnations do have that. I do remember that.
because crocodiles are from the more southern states.
Yeah. You want to go stereotypical swamps of Florida, but never mind.
I was going to say Louisiana.
That too. Anyway, but yeah. So
But
consensus
yeah,
from
my only real complaint was with Harley constantly changing her voice that she was doing.
I didn't really notice it that much.
I didn't really notice it until you do, because it's like in the car scene, she's talking with like a regular accent. Then it's like the next scene, Brooklyn, regular, Brooklyn, regular, Brooklyn, regular, Brooklyn.
Yeah, I didn't really notice it, so it's not that big a deal to
It was
me.
like they were playing table tennis. Jesus. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and boots and pants and boots and pants.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, I think general consensus from both of us is go see it, and if you happen to hear this after it on DVD or Blu-ray, go check it out, go rent it or buy it. Either way, it's
Oh
a
yeah,
fun
I
time.
definitely plan on buying it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it on DVD if I can, since I don't have a Blu-ray player. At
Yeah,
least
I
not
got
yet.
one for Christmas that I literally just plugged in because I don't use it.
If I ever get an Xbox One or a PS4, I'll have a Blu-ray player. But anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's our discussion for Suicide Squad. As we said, go check it out. It's a fun time, and yeah. So on that note, thank you guys for listening to this episode of the Comic Corner. Hopefully, next time when we come back with this program, we'll actually be doing what we said we were going to do
Yeah.
and visiting that walled city full of naked giant retards.
Good save.
Well, let's. Someone made that comparison a long time ago, and it's always stuck with me that that's what they are.
I
But
mean, it's not wrong.
anyway, if you can't figure it out yet, you'll know soon enough. But yeah, so thanks for listening, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Adios.